Right, we're recording.
Thanks. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the meeting of the Executive Cabinet Member Leaders Portfolio, held in the presence of members of other groups on the Council. So our first item on the agenda is the monitoring of Executive Cabinet Member decisions, which has been enclosed. Councillor Wilkinson.
Thanks, Nick. Just in relation to West Bolton Town Centre, we are obviously making progress with the town hall, I'm glad to say. However, the other bit in the report refers to town centre junctions. And as you may be aware, we're having a little bit of development in West Bolton. And depending how things go at planning committee and other events, we might even have more development. But however, it refers to the town centre junctions. And so far, it is like pulling teeth, trying to find out who, what, why, when, where, how much this will be done. So I'm just hoping if I ask you, I might get a response from people.
Okay, fair enough, and appreciate it's this item will probably remain on the monitoring report for a while to come because there's so much to do.
I'm just asking on behalf of myself, Nick. I'm as usual asking for all members and the town council, because if the town centre junctions have any physical work done to them, it causes severe traffic problems across West Bolton. Either the White Lion Junction or the Market Street to Wigan Road Junction, we will have major problems. So it'd be nice for all of us to know where we are and who's doing what.
Paul?
Leader, I'll take that away and speak with Dwayne and provide a response to all members as part of the regular update to all the ward members on West Bolton Town Hall.
Thanks, Paul, and please pass on appreciation to Phil Lamb for his regular updates, which is something that was missing in the past, and I think it's very, very helpful now that that's coming through on a regular basis. I suppose the only other thing to mention, David, is just in relation to the projects officer that Council just approved last Wednesday. Whilst there will be obviously delays in recruitment, a large chunk of this person's time will be to work with district centre projects. So hopefully that capacity issue that we know exists in regeneration will be somewhat addressed. I'm not saying magic wand, but I think, West Bolton, Horwich Farm, Little Lever will get some dedicated support though, which they haven't had for a while.
That's why I fully supported it at Council, Nick, because us in the edges of the Bolton Empire, we do understand the problems. Unfortunately, some don't, but that's another matter, as I say.
Thanks very much. Anything else on those items? If not, we will move on to the next item, which is the Treasury Management Q2 report for 25-26. Graham?
I'm going to ask David Wingfield to present this report. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, David.
Thank you, Leader. This report is the Treasury Management Report for Q2 25-26, covering the Treasury Management activity and associated prudential indicators. ECM are asked to note that the performance of the prudential indicators and content of the report. I'll note that the report has been read and highlight a few areas for you. For example, I'll go to the right page. 2.2.1 on page 3. Just to point out, the external long-term borrowing has remained at 158 million, all based on fixed rates. 2.4.1 on page 4. Just to point out, the base rates, Bank of England rate is still at 4%. It went down to 4% at 7th of August. We're expecting it to drop to about 3.75% sometime in 2026, but we don't actually know specifically yet, obviously. But the interest rate bank rates is currently still 4%. Moving on, there's 2.7.1. We've got a balance of fixed and variable rates for all our debits, our debts and investments. 2.7.3 on page 6. You can see that the profile of these debts is repayable over a number of years. Sometime in the, I think the soonest one we have to repay is 25 to 30 years, and after that, a lot of the PWLB borrowing is 30 to 40, 35 years. And then the last main section is Appendix 3. Which is on page 10. I do apologise, sorry. On page 10, this basically shows that our cash equivalents are currently, as at the end of quarter 2, were 29.25 million. Cash equivalents are the investments we've got in the money markets with Aberdeen, with Goldman Sachs, with Morgan Stanley. It's effectively liquid cash we can access, but we invest in overnight, depending on surpluses and deficits and whatnot that we've got within the council. And the other short-term investments as at the end of quarter 2 were 155 million. Leader, I'm happy to take any questions on this report.
Thanks very much, David. Any questions or comments on that? I think it's fair to point out we had some, I think maybe about this time last year or before, there was some shall I be kind and say media reporting that was misunderstanding Treasury management, and I painstakingly explained to a number of inquiries that if the council didn't invest surplus money, cash flow money, we would actually have less revenue to spend. So it would be completely financially reckless not to invest money, because we make money on these types of things, because we don't spend all our money like people running their household finances. During the year you will have surplus cash that you can grow, and before you need to spend that at a given calendar date. Right, okay, thank you very much, David.
Thank you.
The next item, so I think Vicky, sorry, I've been told off I have to formally approve and these reports, and I'm just skipping on. Thanks. So, okay, the next item is the REOC print room equipment contract.
Thank you. Apologies that I couldn't get into my laptop. So, yes, so this report is looking to get approval to enter into a direct award with Rico. Rico are the company that provide all printing and enveloping equipment in our document solution service. And the way it works at the moment, this contract would be due to renew at the end of March, but that falls smack bang in the middle of our year-end processes, where we're extremely busy. So we print all our year-end business rate bills and council tax bills. So what we're looking to do is do a direct extension to Rico for 18 months. In the autumn of next year, go out through a full procurement exercise, and then time it so that the new equipment, if we happen not to go with Rico, will be coming in place around about the summer or late summer rather than year end, which is quite disruptive. So we've discussed it with procurement, we've discussed it with legal, they're happy, they've signed off on it. So I think it's just looking for approval to do that direct award. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions there, members? Councillor Grant.
Thank you, Leader. Just a quick question, and Helen might be able to come in on this. It's just the section at the bottom that you've added about call. I'm not going to call it in. Please don't panic. It makes sense. But if the proposal came at this meeting that it was 10 times higher than it should be, surely that should be open to further scrutiny. I appreciate that some things do fall within, but if something looks so unconscionably horrendous that members felt it required further scrutiny, surely that should be a consideration in something like this, rather than saying, yeah, we're going to directly award it. That's just my thoughts when I saw the comment at the bottom. I understand why it's there, and obviously I'm not going to call this in because it makes sense with what was being said by Phil. So I just wondered what process we had to ensure that members could hold the council or executive members or officers to account, so that we weren't being reckless. Thank you.
Okay, monitoring officer.
I don't know whether you want to come in, Helen, or
I think Helen, yeah.
Sorry, yes, of course. It's down to the report writer. They shouldn't be certifying that it's within the budget if it's not within the budget. That when it was agreed that this additional information would be added to the report template, it was agreed that it would be for the report writer to confirm it's within the budget or not, not for democratic services or legal, because we're not necessarily going to know the detail of the proposal. I don't know if that helps or answers your question.
So
yeah, I mean, I suppose the point Councillor Grant's making is a general point on how that, on what constitutes not in the budget or not. And I suppose as the decision maker, I would expect officers to be aware of that, to bring that to my attention. Clearly, if something is, and I know we're not talking about this particular item, but if something is outside of the agreed budget, it would be subject to calling as per the rules. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Phil?
this one's been through legal, and obviously the report does make reference to the fact that it's within existing budget. So I think that's why legal would have been happy to. I'm sure that they may have questioned us if I was saying it's going to cost 3 times what we're currently paying, but the report specifically does make the point that it's within budget.
Internal processes would pick that up.
Yeah.
But could we just a point to you, Leader?
Yeah.
If we felt that possibly it was in a bit of a grey area, could we query that with you in this meeting rather than necessarily, and you could possibly take that back and review it for us?
I suppose in that situation, as papers are published a week before, it probably would be preferable for queries to be raised prior to the meeting, just so, because I think you're possibly outlining potential situations where further explanation is needed rather than, and I think at least 2 of those recent call-ins, that was actually stated at scrutiny, further explanation was needed. And I think it's probably responsibility on all of us really to flag those things perhaps before the meeting. That includes the relevant ECM as well.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. I'll just say at this stage for any members of the public watching, Mr. Rimmer, who's just been speaking, is not called Vicky Ridge. He's borrowing somebody else's computer.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will delegate those decisions to the Assistant Director and the Borough Solicitor as outlined in the report. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
We now reach, there are now 2 items left on the agenda that are deemed confidential. This is because both items concern staffing issues and are not in the public domain at this moment in time. In due course, once affected staff, etc., and trade unions, etc., have been part of that process, they do then go into the public domain. So at that point, Mrs. Ridge will stop recording.